America and Addressing Racism, Part 2. When I last was on, I was talking about Canada and the French Canadians and the regular Canadians and stuff like that, and how I've had to face this kind of racism, oh dear, all my life. And, sorry, Days of Our Lives just gave me the shock of my life. Well, anyway, so, I, um, I'm sorry, Days of Our Lives totally fucked me up. The thing with racism, and especially here in America, I don't care what it is, because it was just on the news. One of my sister's friends, I'm not going to say her name, but she was on the news, and, you know, that's your symbol right there, T. Anyway, we do see racism on the same front as most people. But in Canada, there was rarely any racism. Everybody was just getting a fucking along. There was a Korean shop next to a Japanese shop next to a Chinese shop, and they weren't fighting each other, which is awesome because everyone knows the history of China, Japanese, and Koreans not all exactly getting along. But in Canada, there was peace. It was straight fucking peace. Because, there's been a long rivalry with Chinese and Japanese, and Korean has always been the neutral between the two. And it's the same thing with, like, Mongolia and Vietnam and South Vietnam and Laos. There are a lot of Asian countries that just don't fucking like each other. But in Canada, they were just Asians. They weren't a specific type of Asians. And the best part about it is there was like a Korean store. Every time I've been in that Korean store, I have been treated as if I was fucking Korean. They treated me like I was a Korean. They've treated other black people, I've watched them, they treated other black people like they were fucking Korean. Like they were straight up Korean. And this shit just fucking amazed me. I went into a Chinese store, I was treated like I was Chinese. Why can't we all do that here in America? Why can't we all treat people the way we would treat our own people? Of course, except for sometimes black people get a little bit over the top with that. And yeah, I said that. I said that right out loud. Now, the thing is, I never had a racist moment in Canada. Never. I'm not saying that it won't ever happen, but if I ever get enough money to go back, it might die. But I can tell you, here in America, we don't address racism. And there's a lot of people like me running around that's mixed. A lot of them. Most of them probably don't know it, and most of them probably don't have as much mixed features as I have. My eyes are slightly slanted if you look carefully. I don't give people an opportunity to really absorb that in. But for the most part, being part Native American, I'm a little bit more attached to the earth to a certain extent. Being part black, I'm supposed to have an attitude. I try to keep that in check. Clearly, if you watch my videos, you know that that is not always the case. Because I go off. I'm human. I go off just like everyone else. I'm trying to ascend and be better. But, most people can't do that. Because most people only want to see what's in front of them. And they only want to see what they want to see instead of what reality is. Well, here's the thing on reality. We don't address racism. Why don't we address racism? Because we're all scared of each other. Black people are scared of white supremacists. So they won't address racism to their white friends. They just keep it to themselves. White friends are scared of black people. So they don't address racism because natural fear of black people because of the stereotypes in the movies and black people are just badass and we don't listen, we can't read, and all we like to do is shoot and cut people. And then everyone's scared of Mexicans for that same reason. And everyone's scared of Asians because of Bruce Lee. Because they think that every Asian knows martial arts and they're going to beat the fuck out of everyone. Well, here's the thing on that. Every Asian doesn't know martial arts, but they do outnumber us. So if they really wanted to take over, they could. Now, I'm not radicalizing anybody Asian, so don't go following that shit and deciding, hey, yeah, that little guy's right. We outnumber them 1,000 to 1. There was a Chinese saying, and it was told to me by a Chinese guy that I once knew as a friend when I was in grade school. For every one of us you kill, there's always 10,000 more ready to take that one's place. Which is generally true because Asia has the more population of people, which also includes Polynesians and Samoans. All right, so don't think for a New York minute that it's not a possibility. All right, so when you're doing things like this, you have to understand it. We don't address racism due to the one thing that we all have in common, but no one wants to address it. We are all dreadfully afraid to talk about racism. Simple as that. There's no reason for the fear, but there are reasons for the fear. The reasons for the fear is because there's always one. There's always one person who will go too far. All right? I'm not going to be that one who goes too far with these things, but my mouth may go too far. As an example of everything I said about Donald Trump. Voicing my opinion is not a threat. However, there are other people who not only voice their opinions but do make threats, and then that's how we have these problems. And a lot of people are afraid of backlash. You know, a lot of people are afraid of backlash. I hear white people calling white people nigger all the time. All the time. What? Yeah, what? I said it, what? I've heard some white people, I was walking somewhere, and I heard, yo nigga this, yo nigga that, and I look back, and it's white people talking to each other. And I'm like, do I need to walk faster? Or do I need to get ready to fight? Or what? Because I mean, it's not something I'm used to, but apparently it's something that they have been doing for quite some time. Now there's a white fella I know who's blacker than me, and he speaks black, pure and simple, and that's cool. JoJo. Anyway, you know, the thing is, we are all people of different colors, but we all bleed red. None of y'all want to address racism because you are afraid of what someone's going to think of you after you realize an honest opinion. Well, here, I'm going to give you an honest opinion. When I was younger, my friend, my bro, he had a roommate whose dad was racist. But his dad was honest about that shit. His dad was a twin, and he said, look here, boy, I know you mixed, and I'm not going to disrespect you, but I'm letting you know real quick, I don't like niggas. Period. And I said, well, thank you, sir, but I'm not all the way a nigger. And he's like, I know. I don't like half-breeds that much either, but thank you. You can't help how you were born. Now, that guy was 100% real. Billy's daddy was 100% real. See, I can live with that because he looked me dead in my face and let me know where the fuck I stood. The thing with America is that we are so afraid to let people know where they stood because of the fucking backlash and anarchy. And no one wants trouble, but no one wants to let everyone know how they feel. Here's my feelings. We all bleed red. We all are alive. Let's live in peace. If you want to have violence, let's just make it entertainment because I need a job. And let's go from there. But as towards each other in the real world, too much of that shit, yo. Too many black people getting killed because black lives matter. Too many white lives are getting killed because white lives matter. All lives matter. There doesn't need to be a color to it or a label. You know, you guys are, especially in my state, you guys are stopping a young girl who's transgendering into a male from using the male's bathroom. Oh yeah, she's threatening men. She's trying to get a dick. I'm sorry, that didn't come out right. She's trying to get her vagina turned into a penis so that she can be a man. Now, in my personal opinion, she's actually better off just staying a girl and becoming a lesbian, because that's what I would do if I was in her shoes. I would straight up be the biggest lesbian ever if I was her. I'm not trying to sway you, little girl, but lesbians got it made, babe. And it maybe before you transgender over it, you can probably take that into consideration. If I had a daughter who was gay, I would accept that. If I had a son who was gay, I would accept that. I don't have to like it, but I have to love my child. And I would accept that and love them just as if they were normal, because they are normal. They just have a different version of normal. This is also a part of racism, in case you're wondering why I'm saying this, because there's a thin line between racism and prejudice, and we refuse to address it. In sexist, all of this shit is on the same damn level, but no one wants to address it until a little girl decides she wants to go to the bathroom, the boys' bathroom. She's not being a pervert. She feels that she's a boy. And the same thing if it's a little boy who wants to go to the girls' bathroom. He's not being a pervert. He just feels on the inside that he's a little girl. This shit happens more often than you think. But the problem is, just like racism, we don't want to address it. We don't want to live in the reality of this transitioning and this transgender shit does happen. Just like we don't want to live in the reality that somebody's going to look at me at least once on this video and write down the word half-breed, nigger, Asshole. Cool. That's your opinion. I have this thing on this thing called block. Of course, luckily for me, I don't care because I am a half breed. I'm nobody's nigger, but I am an asshole. So I don't care. If you're responding to me, then I did my job. Whether it's a negative response or a positive response, I did my job because somewhere in you, I touched that nerve that no one else could touch and that they were afraid to touch. And the thing is, in America, that's that one nerve that no one is going to touch. Everyone is afraid to address racism. Everyone. Me? No, I'm not. I've lived racism all my life. I've always gone somewhere, except to Canada, and has been a half breed or a nigger or we can't talk in front of you because you might go tell all the white people our secrets. We can't talk to you because you might go tell all the black people our secrets. You wouldn't believe the shit I heard growing up. You wouldn't. You can't make this shit up. When I was in grade school, I could write a book about this shit. When I was in grade school, there was a race war in my school. And my black friends and my white friends fought each other. And both sides had one thing in common. They were unified on whose side I was going to be on. I had my black friends hit me the worst. Like, James, you can't really be on our side because you're not a real nigger, you're a half nigger. Well, I hate to tell them, but through half society, about 150,000 people who are black probably have some white or Native American in them. My features just show more. Alright? Y'all might not want to believe that. The only real African Americans are Africans who immigrated over here and got American citizenship. I am black and damn proud. I'm also Native American and I'm also white. And I am damn proud to have all three blood systems in my body until one or all three do something incredibly stupid. I've said this before. I say it again. The only time that I'm ashamed to be black is when black people go and do something stupid. The only time I'm ashamed to be Native American is when Native Americans do something stupid. I'm never ever really gonna be white. Ever. So I don't have a problem of never being ashamed of being white because I'm never gonna be white. It's not gonna happen. So you move forward. We address these issues. If we just address racism and get it on the table and discuss it, the problems will come to an end. They will head off themselves. And it's the same thing with that damn Robert E. Lee statue. Apparently, no one reads a book and knows that America had a civil war. And in that civil war, it was a line through the states. The northern states fought to fight to free the slaves. The southern states fought to keep the slaves. And Virginia, unfortunately, was a southern state. So we got all these people bitching about this park and this fucking statue. Racism? Yes. Now, the funny thing about it is that there were white people trying to get rid of the statue too. And he was a white man, a ruler. Some would view him as a tyrant, but some must remember that he was the United States president at the time of the Civil War. There was two presidents. So what's the problem? It's history. Statue's not hurting anybody, and you want to rename the park, and the park's right across from a fucking history museum. Really? Really? So like I said, and I'll make a third part to this, we need to address racism. We need to address it, and we need to address it right fucking now. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu number 2. Be seeing you.